week, you should be revising your first writing project. Last week, you submitted it to your tutor or shared it with a peer, so use that information and the revision checklist that I posted in your module to help you in that process. Revision literally means to look again. So this process is going to involve a lot more than just fixing grammar. I expect significant investment and improvement. There are 4 basic levels to revision, and you can find them all outlined step by step in your module in the revision checklist. This list also matches the grading rubric pretty closely, so it will help make sure that you get all of the points there. First, you need to start with revising for content. This means looking at the big picture issues. Whether you're doing the creative project, the research essay, or the analysis, you need to start by considering what information or ideas you've included. Did you meet the requirements for the assignment in page length, sources, and support? Did you meet the requirement for the genre? If you're working on your creative project, that means you've created an original short story using one of the assigned readings as inspiration. If you're working on the literary analysis, that means you've chosen one of the assigned text and are making an argument about what it means or how readers should understand its message. If you're working on the researched essay, that means you're using research from scholarly sources, not random internet pages, to make an argument about how the time period, author, or literary influences of the time affected the text. Remember, this isn't a report. You're still making an argument here. If you have questions about what that means, ask now, not later. For both the analysis and research essay, be sure that you're using quotes and examples from your text to support your idea. There's a guide to integrating sources in your modules to help with this. For all 3 options, you also need to make sure that your main idea is clear, either through the story itself in the creative option or stated as a claim in a forecasting thesis statement for the other 2. Once you're confident that your content and support are as good as you can get them, you need to revise for organization. Make sure that your ideas are presented in the most helpful order possible. Check to make sure you're not bouncing from one thing to another and back again. Fully discuss one point before you move on to point 2. When your ideas are in order, then check to make sure you are properly guiding your readers. For the creative project, this means that you've used descriptions or time markers so the reader knows when and where we are. For the other 2 options, this means you've used a formal essay structure. You need a focused introduction that hooks the reader, sets up your topic, and lays out your claim in a forecasting thesis statement. Make sure that each body paragraph has a clear topic sentence and a useful transition. Also, make sure that each paragraph is actually about the topic that your topic sentence sets up. Easier said than done in some cases. Finally, make sure that you have a full conclusion that sums up your ideas and leaves the reader thinking. This is the last impression that you'll make on the reader. Don't waste it. Once you're happy with your organization, then you move on to revising for style. This means going through sentence by sentence and word by word to check for an appropriate tone and precise language. There's a fair bit of flexibility in your language choices in the creative project. However, for the analysis and researched arguments, you need to use an elevated and authoritative tone. You also need to use genre-appropriate pronouns, which in this case means no I, we, or us. Also, no second person. It makes your tone too conversational. The final step is to check your mechanics and grammar. Don't just rely on spell check. It's great and I love it, but it's still a computer algorithm guessing what you're trying to say. Your brain is better. I'm going to be really picky about your citations for the analysis and research option, so double and triple check those. We're using MLA in this class. You need to cite both in the body of the essay using parentheses, not footnotes, and at the end in a full works cited list. Remember, if you leave out either your parenthetic in-text or works cited citations, that's plagiarism, and you will fail the assignment. Finally, check your formatting. There's an MLA example in the top module if you need it. For the creative project, I still want a heading, header, and double spacing. Beyond that, though, feel free to be, creative, especially if you've been inspired by the modernists. Remember, this project is worth 200 points, so take it seriously. And as always, if you need help, ask.